Henry VIII was an enormous egoist who pursued policies that led to an enormous amount of turmoil. But in the end, they would create the circumstances that would allow the emergence of a modern country.
Henry VIII is perhaps England's most famous king because of his many wives. But as the second son of King Henry VII, Henry VIII only became heir when his older brother Arthur died in 1502. Henry married Arthur's widow, Catherine of Aragon, but after 20 years of marriage, the couple only had one daughter. His wife, now 40, was unlikely to bear Henry the son he desired, and Henry had fallen in love with Anne Boleyn.
He called it the king's great matter, and he said, I'll go to the Pope. It'll be a done deal. Bada bing, she's out, you're in, Anne. It wasn't that simple.
The Pope simply prolonged the proceedings. He dragged them out as long as possible, hoping that in the end, Henry would simply decide to keep his mistress and not worry about actually marrying her.
Henry married Anne Boleyn in 1533, while still officially married to Catherine. A series of acts of Parliament granted Henry's divorce and placed Henry as the head of the Church of England, breaking connection to the Catholic Church.
There was actually a rebellion in northern England, which was called the Pilgrimage of Grace, which was, in certain respects, a Catholic rebellion against the crown. Henry suppressed this violently.
Anne Boleyn gave birth to a daughter, Elizabeth, on September 7, 1533.
We are young, sons will follow. He famously said, reining in his rage, but he soon became quite devastated as no further sons were produced. Anne had a miscarriage, it was a boy, and I think that's what set him off on the road to crazy town.
11 days after the execution of Anne Boleyn in 1536, Henry married Jane Seymour. The following year, Jane gave birth to a prince. She died 12 days later from complications with delivery.
Henry considered Jane to be his one true wife, in a sense, and when he died, he actually had...
Reformation left England in a state of religious turmoil.
Henry VIII should primarily be remembered as the king who allowed the Reformation to happen in England, and as the king who created a much more structured and centralized form of government in England that would be a tremendous legacy for later generations.